Hey guys, so I started something called an alignment journal, and I wanted to give you guys a tour of it and explain a little bit about what it is. So for the next 21 days, I am doing a personal alignment challenge because I struggle with self-sabotaging behaviors like going to bed way too late, eating too much, not sticking to my habits, being inconsistent, having self-doubt. So I have been honestly working on this journal on and off for the past year, trying to come up with the best way to structure and organize it. And today I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like. And then after this, I'm going to give you guys just kind of a preview of how I've been using the journal and any feedback I've been having about it.
Okay, so this is a journal. Obviously, it won't be this, it won't have this line here. And like I said, it's just for alignment. So you're going to start off by setting your values, and then we're going to have you live more in accordance with those values. I have you highlight each area of life and kind of go through what you want to change about that and set goals along with your why. I also talk about the different phases of the moon, and I specifically have new and full moon journaling prompts, which are here. And the reason I have this along with your cycle, if you're female, your menstrual cycle, I explain the different phases of that and have you track that. The reason I have you do this is because I want you to understand the energy that's happening in and around you. So astrology and your menstrual cycle will really affect your energy levels and affect what you can get done in a day and your feelings. And so I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to better understand yourself. This is called a basal body temperature chart. So basically, if you want to track your cycle, one of the best things to do is to track when you ovulate by taking your temperature using a basal body temperature thermometer every morning. And it's basically just shows very slight fluctuations in the temperature. And you will see it's supposed to look like this for the different phases of your cycle. So when you're ovulating, it will drop and then spike. And so I just give you guys an opportunity to basically better understand your body. Like, okay, what's happening at each phase? What do I need to do during each phase of my cycle? And then you can take notes actually in the journal weekly pages. You can take notes about what's happening with your body. So here is the habit planning. So I have my habits listed out and when I've done them. I have my weekly targets, which I'm gonna add that section in here. And weekly targets are basically a way for us to not get super stuck on getting certain things done each day. It's about getting it done within a week so that we have a little bit more flexibility. So it's like, okay, I have to get these targets done this week to stay on task. And then I have constraints, which I talk about later in this video, which is really about giving yourself rules that will help you. I'm just gonna skip past my page. Giving yourself rules that will help you stick to your habits. Okay, so here, let me just show you some blank journal pages. Okay, so for example, here would be one of the 7 days of the week where I have you guys do some journaling prompts on the right-hand side. These will be different every day of the week. And it's going to help you start to embody your future self and get down to the bottom of why you have self-limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging behavior. Here I have an affirmation, and this one's about spirituality, but this one's about health. They're different every day, so you can rewrite this affirmation or write your own and write something that you love about yourself, one rewarding thing you did for yourself. So this is to promote self-love. And then this is really to track what's happening with your body, with your cycle. And yeah, this is really helpful information. And then your tomorrow, like your list of things to do tomorrow, as well as things that you're grateful for. So it's basically a way to track how you're taking care of your body, how you're improving to get down to the bottom of why you're making these decisions and make changes accordingly. And then at the end of each week, you will have a reflection section where you can kind of look back on the week and see, you know, what's changed, what's been happening, and what do I need to work on, what insights did I have, that type of thing. So, and then so you would just write that here. And then there's also, of course, a place to write the new and full moon journal prompts to help you manifest what you're looking for. And then at the very end, there is a quarterly review. So this is a 90-day journal. So at the end, there's a quarterly review that will kind of have you go over things that we talked about at the beginning and see how you feel about it right now. So this will be available for purchase on Amazon by December 21st or possibly earlier. And if you're subscribed to my email list on willowsbloom.com, then you'll be notified first.
Today begins day 1 of my 21-day alignment challenge. So I got up on time. Everything's been going good so far. And one of the things that I'm trying to establish is a morning workout routine. So this is a journal that I'm using. I made this journal specifically for this purpose, to help me get on track towards my goals. And one of the goals is a fitness goal. So I think it's very fitting after gaining weight over Thanksgiving. So I just took some body measurements to see if they change. But basically, I just have a goal to work out every single day and to wake up at a certain time and to do breath work and meditation in the morning. So I'm hoping that I have time for everything. So I think I might need to possibly get up earlier. But that's the thing about this challenge that I really wanted to do, is I wanted to see what works, what doesn't work, where I need to make adjustments, and just kind of figure it out as I go, and then offer the journal to you guys on Amazon at the end if you're interested in doing something similar. So yeah, I'm excited to take you on this journey with me, and I will keep you in the loop every single day. Bye. All right, so I just got back from the gym. Success, everything is going well, but I feel like I'm a little bit behind schedule. So I do think I need to wake up earlier. So I'm gonna be documenting all of it moving forward, and yeah, hopefully I will get up earlier tomorrow. It's just so cold here. I honestly don't ever want to get out of bed. It's 20 degrees at 6 in the morning. So, all right, I'll see you tuned. Hey guys, today is day 1 of 21 days where I am doing my challenge using my journal. And so far, last night was not the best. You know, and I think that's a big part of this, is kind of reworking things in order to fit what is life, because life throws us curveballs. And last night, for whatever reason, I woke up at 3 a.m. and was up till like 5. So I didn't get the morning workout that I wanted, so I'm gonna go this evening, but things are feeling good so far, and it's nice to have some kind of accountability to show me what I need to keep track of. I also think I need to like really be mindful of the time slots of things. So yeah, just making sure that I actually have time to get everything done in a realistic way is a really big thing. I think that is like one of the biggest things for me, and I think a lot of other people who are optimistic, is that they will schedule so much in one day but not actually have the capacity or the time to do that in a realistic, sustainable way every day. So I'm just trying to be more like kind to myself throughout this process. Like, how can I achieve my goals without ruining my relationship with myself, like not beating myself up if things don't go according to plan? And starting off day 1, they're not going according to plan, which is unfortunate. But I hope that the days following will start to fall more into what I expected, and that I will be able to readjust and stay positive and stay loving when they don't go according to plan. So I think that's a really big thing, and my journal really promotes that, the self-love. It's like the relationship with yourself is really the core of everything. Because if you're beating yourself up and you're having a poor relationship with yourself, you're not actually going to make lasting change. You can't just beat yourself up into lasting change. And that's something that I've tried to do for many years, so that's why I know it's not working. So I'm excited to try something new. I'm excited to really implement the things that I'm laying out for you guys in the journal, and I'll keep you tuned. Bye. All right, I'm about to go into the gym. The one gym was closed. I'm going into another one, anyway, this is basically all to say. Today has really been about pivoting a lot, my schedule not going according to plan, but I'm still getting a lot of it done. And I think as long as, you know, I get everything done within a week, that's really what matters. So it's a lot about having kindness with myself, and that's something that I am learning a lot as a Virgo rising, and with Saturn in the 6th house. So yeah, so I hope that this journal is gonna help, and I will let you guys know. Bye. So last night I stayed up a little bit later than I was intending to or had written down. It's mostly because I felt really called to do a pick a card reading. And so yeah, sometimes I just wanted to say that to feel in flow and to feel like you are following your intuition will sometimes not rigidly follow your rules. But I feel like as long as it's not completely throwing everything off schedule, then it's actually good. And so today I woke up, I do feel a little bit more tired, but I think it's because I'm in the luteal phase. I'm about to have my period, which is really great because I feel it in my body, but I'm also tracking it in my journal. So I know that my exercise today is probably going to be a little bit more chill, just like going for a long walk. I did, you know, maybe some yoga. I did some yoga yesterday. So yeah, I think it's just really important to cater to the part of the cycle that you're in energetically, intuitively. And you know, I think that the journal is really great because it gives you habits, it gives you constraints, but then at the same time it allows for you to honor that part of your cycle. So I think it really just comes down to being kind to yourself wherever you are at and whatever decisions that you're making. And so yeah, day 2 is going good. One of my new habits is doing some breath work in the morning.
I also wanted to share with you guys a little bit about how to track your basal body temperature. So this is a basal body temperature thermometer. It's a lady comp. For some reason, this thermometer always falls out of the socket, which is very irritating. So yeah, I will set an alarm on here, and it will wake me up, and I will just put this in my mouth and press the middle button, and it will take my basal body temperature. And you'll be able to see when you go into past days what it was, and you can even mark your menstrual cycle as well when that's happened. And you want to start plotting your basal body temperature in this graph that I'm about to show you. You want to start plotting the temperature in this graph when you start your period. So you notice it's blank because I'm probably going to start my period today, so it'll probably be day 1, and my temperature was like 98 something, so I'll put one of these here. So you just kind of like make a dot, and then you'll start to see the shape come to life, and over time you will see that you have normally something that looks somewhat like this, where you're going to have your body temperature slowly drop and then rise in a peak right when you've ovulated. So you'll be able to see sort of after the fact when you've ovulated. And it's really important, first of all, that you have a specific thermometer for this, because these are very, you know, this is only between 96 and 98 degrees, so it's very sensitive. They have other thermometers like Daisy or even cheaper ones that you can buy. And yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to say is that you guys should read Taking Charge of Your Fertility, because that will show you a lot, or that book will teach you a lot about, you know, the different physical indicators to look for throughout your cycle and what's happening physically. And then it's very important to take your temperature when you first woken up. So you don't want to be moving around, and your temperature can slightly change if you change your behavior. So if you start, you know, drinking alcohol before bed, like that can change your that can change your temperature, things like that. So so yeah, it's just important to keep that in mind, because this is, you know, very sensitive, so you want it to be accurate. And it's not going to be this perfect graph always. Just keep in mind that you're gonna sometimes have to kind of look for where you ovulated, but this thermometer usually blinks and will tell you what day you ovulated. I started tracking it somewhat recently, but let me see if it will say. You'll see, like, for example, the red days are days that you definitely need to have protection when you're having sex, and the yellow days are like, you still need protection. And if there's ever green days, then those are safe. You notice how when I'm menstruating, they're green days. So I wouldn't actually trust this because I got pregnant from this before. I was also drinking and like staying up at late and waking up at different hours, and that affects your basal body temperature a lot. So that's why it messed up. But yeah, so I prefer to track it by hand, track my symptoms by hand, and not necessarily always use this as a birth control method, but just use this as a way to understand what's happening in my body physically. So it really gives you a lot of wisdom and understanding about each phase of your cycle, and it will show you when something is off. For example, when you're supposed to have ovulated and you didn't, or if you are in one phase for a longer time, or if you're missing your period. Sometimes people don't even notice, but with this you will notice. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys.
Hey guys, I was just journaling for tonight's journal prompt, and one of the things I was asking was a pattern that I wanted to shift in myself, and a childhood memory that could have started that pattern, like a moment in my childhood. And I just wanted to say something that came up for me as I was writing was, not everything will have a memory or a moment from your childhood where it all began or where you can remember it. And if nothing comes to mind, if you believe in past lives, if you think it could be from a past life, or it could be even just something that's handed down from generation to generation, and not like really embodied in a specific moment, then you can just discuss that in the journal. And I think it's just important to think about where things may originate from. And if you can draw it back to the source, you're more likely to cure yourself in a way or heal whatever issue that is. So for example, for me, I really feel like I have a lack of confidence in my work, in my talents, and my skills. I have a very strong confidence in who I am as a person, but not my talents, which is interesting. And I personally believe that this is linked to my Chiron in Leo in my birth chart. And if you guys know anything about Chiron, then you know that Chiron is something that is an asteroid that represents the wound from our past lives. And so when I sat down to think about, where does this pattern come from? This lack of confidence. And I'm like, I actually have no idea. I don't see where this originates in my life because I don't actually have a reason for any of it. And that's when you know it's from a past life, because you have a really strong feeling or aversion or to something, or just reaction to something. You feel it very intensely and you can't really pinpoint it. Like, I don't really have a reason for being like this, but I know that it's there. And so if you guys have something like that come up, I just want to encourage you to explore, to see if there's something from the past that can be, related to that. And if not, it's okay. You can just skip that part, or, note whatever you think, and then move on to the next question, which will help you kind of release the pattern the more that you work on this. So if you guys buy the journal, then I hope that this is helpful for you. All right, I'm on day 3, I believe, of the challenge. And yeah, I'm feeling so tired today. And I think it's really characteristic of the luteal phase, of the menstrual phase. And I just got back from the gym and I felt so periody. It's so weird that it hasn't come. But I think that it's so important to recognize that your energy will fluctuate, and it's important to schedule your days and your time according to your energy levels rather than according to like a very fixed schedule. And that's why I like to set something called weekly targets, because I don't want to force myself to feel the same every day and to get the same amount of work done every day, no matter what. I want to go with my energy and set expectations for the day and then adjust if I don't have the matching energy to complete that. And so what I do is I set weekly targets. So I'm like, okay, I have to finish at least these tasks, and then I will be on track towards my goals. And the other stuff, the daily tasks, are what's going to get me there. But if I don't do it this day, I can do it this day when I have more energy, when things have shifted in me. And so as women, I think it's important to recognize and honor these cycles. And one way, I set up my journal is to do that, because there's so many masculine journals out there saying like, this is my to-do list, this is what I'm going to get done today, no matter what. And maybe if you start your period, you feel really tired, your energy goes within, and you don't have the capacity to do that. But then after your period and your follicular phase, you're like on fire and you can get twice as much work done. And so it's really not about the time management as much as it's about the energy management. And that shift in thinking is really huge. And that's really why I tried to make my journal the way that I made it. So anyway, just wanted to check in, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Bye. Today is day 4 of my alignment challenge using the journal, and it has been really beneficial. Last night, I actually went to bed on time, and I woke up actually a few minutes before I said I was going to, without any alarm. It was all natural. And I've really suffered with self-sabotage for such a long time. And a lot of it comes from me staying up too late and like not desiring to go to bed. And so by fixing this problem, I'm able to then create more of a positive upward spiral, because just like people have downward spirals, you can have success spirals. So once you start to go to bed on time, then you'll get up and you will feel more energetic. You'll be more likely to work out. You'll be more likely to eat healthier foods or eat less to do the work that you've planned. And so I'm definitely feeling that today. And yeah, it's been really great. It's also been wonderful to understand my cycle and the days that I start to feel really tired, and to plan loose days and less work for those days to respect my energy levels. So I'm really enjoying it so far, and I hope you guys do too. Okay, we're on day 7 of the alignment challenge, and it's going really well. I woke up this morning pretty early, got straight out of bed and went to the gym, and that's a really big feat for me to not sit in bed for a half an hour, which has been a really bad habit that I've developed. So things are going really well, but I noticed that I don't have time enough for my morning routine. So I'm going to have to get up even earlier, which means I'm going to have to set a new constraint of going to bed at 9:30 instead of like 10:30, 11. So a constraint is basically a rule that you put on yourself that will allow you to complete your habits. Because if I go to bed whenever, then obviously I'm not gonna get up early. So I have to put certain constraints, like, okay, I'm gonna be in bed at 9 p.m. or in bed at 9:30 and then I sleep by 10. And then you can even think about constraints in every other area of your life. So food, for example, no food after 8:30 or 8. If I eat late at night, I notice that my body, this dog, I notice that my body really wants to stay up because it's digesting food, especially if it's like something sugary. So I start to plan my meals and decide, okay, this is the time I'm gonna typically eat at, and this is what I'm allowed to have for dessert. And easing your way into constraints is important, because I mean, you can't just like put all these rules on yourself and expect them to follow it. I think every week we're trying to build one new habit or improve one thing, and one constraint I think is helpful in order to do that. But if you're trying to do everything at once, you're gonna fail and you're gonna beat yourself up for it. So I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to give myself credit where credit is due and keep improving. All right, today is day 8 of the alignment challenge. I hopped out of bed today, which is crazy because I set new constraints. So that means I was out of bed at like 6:45, trying to inch my way up to 6:30 at some point. But yeah, I was off all electronics at 9:30, in bed, you know, by 10. And I feel like I have so much energy today, and I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that, not only in our cycle, but also astrologically. So in your cycle, I just ended my menstrual phase and I started my follicular phase. This is when your energy just starts to blast off. So when I first started the challenge, I was in my luteal menstrual, and that's when your energy is declining. And I wanted to be working out every single day. I wanted to get up super early, and get everything done, but it wasn't in the cards for me. I mean, it would have been way too much for my body and my energy levels at the time because of the phase of my cycle that I was in. But now that I've hit my follicular phase, now that I've just stopped, I feel like a totally new person. I feel like I have the ability to get up really early and get everything done and work out 5 days a week. And so if you go with your energy levels based off of your cycle, it can be very helpful for you to respect your body. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was energy levels as far as astrology is concerned. So if you can look, if you download something called like Time Passages, you will be able to see your daily transits and like what is happening from the outer, like the collective planets and how it's affecting your personal chart and your personal planets. So oftentimes when we have, for example, like Sun and Neptune making some kind of aspects to each other, this can oftentimes make us feel more groggy or like lethargic and unmotivated. And so if you can see that you're going to have something like that coming up, then it's going to be easier for you to be like, okay, maybe today I will have more of a rest day. But if you have some kind of like Sun-Mars aspect, this can give you a lot of vitality, this can give you a lot of energy and actually make you feel more capable of getting 10 times as much done. So I think I mentioned this in another video, it's not necessarily about managing our time, it's about managing our energy. So if you feel like, you know, I have only 2 hours, if your sun is making like a sextile to Mars, for example, you might be able to get done more in those 2 hours than you would in the entire day when your sun is making, I don't know, a square to Neptune or something. So just keep that in mind, that as long as we're tracking the stars, as long as we're tracking the energy within us, we can begin to understand the bigger picture and stop trying to force ourselves to be the same kind of person every single day. So the challenge is going really well. Things are picking up and for the better. And yeah, stay tuned.